Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent. But be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Well, welcome to Roncalli High School, home of the Roncalli Rebels. I'm Keith Myers along with Jimmy Cook, and yes, you do see volleyball playing, but that's the JV game. Roncalli and Brebeuf playing game number 2 in the JV game, 18-12 Roncalli. We have a late start because, well, Brebeuf and the bus program went 2 different places. That's why we're running a little late. So we're going to show you some bonus coverage. We have a lot of things in store for you. You won't miss any of the varsity game at all. We will tell you this, that this game is a very important game for the conference. Roncalli comes in at 11-8 with a 2-game winning streak. Brebeuf 11-3 with a 2-game winning streak. In the conference, Brebeuf leads 3 games to 0. Heritage Christian is 2-1. Roncalli is 3-1. Chittard is 1-1. Covenant Christian is 0-2, and Guerin Catholic is 0-4 with a few games left. Other games going on tonight on Indiana SRN radio broadcast, Covenant Christian and Chittard. That game is a 7 o'clock start on the internet radio. We're going to take a break, give you some bonus coverage and a lot more, so don't miss. You won't miss any of the varsity game. It's Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
If we've seen one thing in the story so far, it's that after things went wrong in the garden, the relationship between humans and God was less than perfect. But time after time, God continued to rescue and provide for humans. We left off with the Israelites wanting a king like other nations. So God used the prophet Samuel to select a man named Saul. Saul was strong and popular and seemed like the perfect choice for a king. And at first, Saul did a great job. But eventually, he turned his back on God and started to do what he wanted instead of what God wanted. So God began looking for another man who could be Israel's king. God used Samuel once again, this time predicting that a young shepherd boy named David would succeed Saul as king. David's own family thought the idea was crazy. David was the youngest of 7 brothers, and the other 6 were all bigger, stronger, and more fit to be the king. Until one day, when David showed he had exactly what it took. Israel was at battle with the Philistines, and they were being mocked and threatened every day by a giant soldier named Goliath. Though no soldier in Israel's army would stand up to Goliath, David ran into battle against him, armed with only a slingshot and some stones. David slung the stone and knocked Goliath down, then cut off his head. Now, David became something like an instant celebrity in Israel, sort of like LeBron James, just with a slingshot instead of a basketball and, well, no $20 million a year contract. And eventually, David did in fact become king of Israel. He was a totally different kind of king than Saul was, committed to God and committed to being the blessing to others that God had always wanted Israel to be. He wasn't perfect, but he was somebody who loved and followed God. Eventually, David passed his kingship to his own son, Solomon. Solomon grew up to become the wisest man who ever lived, using his great wisdom to help the Israelites make very difficult decisions, and also to write books of wisdom found in the Bible. Now, the funny thing is that even with all that wisdom, Solomon made his share of mistakes as well. He married women for political alliances and protection instead of trusting God. Eventually, his lack of trust left the kingdom vulnerable. For all his great wisdom, he led the people to trust in the wrong things. Yet, under Solomon's rule, Israel was peaceful and prosperous. But if we've been paying any attention to the story so far, times like these don't seem to last very long. It was only a matter of time after Solomon died that Israel would find itself in a whole new world of trouble. And yet, as always, God would provide a way out. If we've seen one thing in the story so far, it's that after things went wrong in the garden, the relationship between humans and God was less than perfect. But time after time, God continued to rescue and provide for humans. We left off with the Israelites wanting a king like other nations. So God used the prophet Samuel to select a man named Saul. Saul was strong and popular and seemed like the perfect choice for a king. And at first, Saul did a great job. But eventually, he turned his back on God and started to do what he wanted instead of what God wanted. So God began looking for another man who could be Israel's king. God used Samuel once again, this time predicting that a young shepherd boy named David would succeed Saul as king. David's own family thought the idea was crazy. David was the youngest of 7 brothers, and the other 6 were all bigger, stronger, and more fit to be the king. Until one day, when David showed he had exactly what it took. Israel was at battle with the Philistines, and they were being mocked and threatened every day by a giant soldier named Goliath. Though no soldier in Israel's army would stand up to Goliath, David ran into battle against him, armed with only a slingshot and some stones. David slung the stone and knocked Goliath down, then cut off his head. Now, David became something like an instant celebrity in Israel, sort of like LeBron James, just with a slingshot instead of a basketball and, well, no $20 million a year contract. And eventually, David did in fact become king of Israel. He was a totally different kind of king than Saul was, committed to God and committed to being the blessing to others that God had always wanted Israel to be. He wasn't perfect, but he was somebody who loved and followed God. Eventually, David passed his kingship to his own son, Solomon. Solomon grew up to become the wisest man who ever lived, using his great wisdom to help the Israelites make very difficult decisions, and also to write books of wisdom found in the Bible. The funny thing is that even with all that wisdom, Solomon made his share of mistakes as well. He married women for political alliances and protection instead of trusting God. Eventually, his lack of trust left the kingdom vulnerable. For all his great wisdom, he led the people to trust in the wrong things. Yet, under Solomon's rule, Israel was peaceful and prosperous. But if we've been paying any attention to the story so far, times like these don't seem to last very long. It was only a matter of time after Solomon died that Israel would find itself in a whole new world of trouble. And yet, as always, God would provide a way out.
Well, good evening. Last night and earlier this morning, we saw things starting to come apart in God's story. Literally. The nation of Israel split into 2 kingdoms, one in the south and one in the north. God had a plan to bless the entire world through the nation of Israel, but things weren't going any further than a Tennessee basketball team in the tournament. On top of that, it's like they'd collectively been whacked on the side of the head, completely forgetting about all the amazing stuff God had done to rescue and provide for them over the years. Something drastic needed to happen. So, God sent a group of folks called the prophets. Now, today, when we think of the word prophet, we might think of things like fortune tellers, tarot card readers, and 1-800-psychic hotlines. But back in ancient Israel, a prophet wasn't somebody who could necessarily tell the future. They were more like messengers from God, often sent to deliver warnings to the people. They said stuff like, "Turn from your wicked ways," or "God's going to allow other nations to take you all as prisoners," or "God is angry with your selfishness and eventually is going to do something about it." Well, as you can imagine, these fellas weren't the most popular kids in the class. In fact, a couple of them were nearly killed for saying the stuff they did. The stories of some of the prophets read like something out of an adventure novel. Elijah, for instance, heard some priests encouraging Israelites to follow false gods, so he challenged them to a duel of sorts. The winner would show the people who was following the true God. He told them to have their God send fire down from the sky to burn up a bunch of animals on an altar. For hours, the priests prayed, and nothing happened. Elijah mockingly suggested maybe their God was on vacation or in the bathroom and couldn't be bothered. Then, Elijah prayed and asked God, the one true God, to send fire down. And sure enough, God sent down fire and burned up every last animal on that altar. Then there was Isaiah. He was like the rock star of prophets. Isaiah had a dream where he told God face to face that he didn't think he was worthy of being a prophet. God responded by reassuring Isaiah that he'd have the exact right words to say at just the right time. So Isaiah's message to the people was that because of their continual disobedience, bad things were about to happen. But Isaiah also told them that God would never stop loving them, and in fact, already had a rescue plan in place. This rescue plan involved somebody who would help Israel and all of humanity turn things around once and for all. Isaiah wasn't the only prophet to talk about this rescue plan, but he talked about it a lot and in really great detail. In fact, I think in a few weeks, we're all going to be pretty amazed just how much Isaiah knew about somebody who hadn't even been born yet. But that's for another time and another story soon.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Roncalli High School. Keith Myers on with Jenny Cook. The JV game just got over with as Roncalli wins 2-0. We still have a few minutes before our pregame show, so we're going to take it back to the studios here in just a couple of seconds. Just want to let you know this is a huge conference game because Brebeuf is 3-0 in the conference, and Roncalli is 3-1. Roncalli needs this win if they want to stay close to the conference championship. Other games tonight in the conference, Covenant Christian is taking on Chittard. We will be at Chittard on Thursday night as they will take on the Roncalli Rebels. We'll take a 2-minute break or a 4-minute break. We'll come back with the pregame show. Jimmy Cook will be joining me right after this. You're watching Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
If it feels like it's been a while since we started our journey together through God's great story, you're right. In fact, on our first day of A Mighty Source, it was only 41 degrees outside here in Murfreesboro, and some of us were still returning Christmas gifts at Dillard's. It's also been a while since we last left off in the story, and while that gap in time might feel long to us, it's nothing compared to the weight the ancient Israelites had to endure. You see, after years and years of God speaking to the Israelites all the time, God pretty much went silent for 400 years, and a lot happened to the Israelites during that time. After years of being scattered around different countries, most of them had returned home. There was just one problem. The Israelites didn't control Israel. Rome did. Yep, that Rome. The one run by a bunch of guys with George Clooney haircuts. The Caesars. As you can imagine, the Israelites didn't really dig that somebody else was in charge of their country. And from time to time, they even clashed with the Roman government. Thankfully, the Israelites hadn't forgotten their history. A history of God rescuing them over and over again. We here at World Outreach Church have looked at those stories over the past 6 months. It's all those stories, from the beginning of the earth to the books of poetry through the 400 years of silence, that make up what we now call the Old Testament. The next major part of the story, called the New Testament, begins with God breaking his silence in a big, big way. In fact, the story takes a turn so dramatic and powerful that almost every person on the face of the planet uses this point to divide human history. And this turning point isn't an event, it's a person. And you probably know who it is. His name is Jesus. We'll be looking a lot at the life of Jesus in the next few weeks, but suffice to say, when this guy came on the scene, it was a whole new ballgame, a new way of life, and a new way for people to connect with God. Jesus made a way for people to live the lives that God had originally intended them to live, and for God's people to be a blessing to the entire world. By doing all this, Jesus was fulfilling the promises and the prophecies found in the Old Testament. Knowing where Jesus fits into this great history adds so much meaning to the things he did and said. Skipping to the Jesus part is kind of like when you turn on the TV on a Saturday afternoon and there's one of your favorite movies on, but it's already an hour and a half into the movie. Sometimes you just don't even want to watch. Your favorite part of the story might be the ending, but it doesn't mean half as much if you weren't able to see the beginning. That's the New Testament. 27 individual books. 4 of them are directly about the life of Jesus. Another book is about how Jesus' followers started the early church, and the rest of the books are essentially letters written by a few different guys to these early churches, encouraging them and reminding them the truth of who Jesus was and what it meant for them. But in all 27 of these books, it's like the authors make the assumption that the readers aren't just turning on the TV in the middle of the movie. These authors, and Jesus himself, quote the Old Testament hundreds of times and assume that the readers know all about the history, poetry, and prophecy of the Old Testament. And in a few spots that feel like they're a scene out of a time travel movie, people we've seen in the Old Testament actually show up in the New Testament. But more on that later. So, we here at World Outreach Church and the ancient Israelites have finally made it to the New Testament. Something amazing is about to happen.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of High School Volleyball here on Indiana SRN. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your evening with us as we have a Circle City Conference tilt and a matchup that has extreme conference implications behind it as the Roncalli Rebels, 11-8 on the season, welcome the Brebeuf Braves, 11-3 on the year. Coach, as I bring you into the fray, we've talked about how dominant this conference is. Each and every broadcast that we've had dating back to late August, it's proven and lived up to that hype so far, and this matchup really could dictate the way the conference shapes up here over the next couple of weeks.
A lot of people think this is a 3-team race with Brebeuf, Roncalli, and Heritage Christian. But, you know, I think Chittard can still make some noise. Chittard is now playing Covenant Christian tonight. That should be a very interesting matchup as well. And then the 2 games we have tonight. We got one tonight with Brebeuf and Roncalli. But Thursday night's very intriguing because Roncalli will be watching that game because Chittard and Brebeuf plays each other. If Brebeuf wins tonight and tomorrow night, they clinch the title. Thursday night, they clinch the title and very well deserved. Both of these teams are very, very young. I think the conference in a whole is very, very young and very healthy.
From a perspective of both of these teams, we mentioned how each of them hold 11 wins on the season. Coming into this year, Coach, which of those surprises you more knowing where we're at right now?
Brebeuf probably because they have a lot more freshmen and a lot more youth. Roncalli plays a stronger non-conference teams. But Brebeuf has done a great job. New coach, new philosophy, and it's really paid big dividends for her. And with the freshman class, if they play like they did against the other 2 opponents they played this year that we had on the network, this could be a very interesting hint. This could go 5, so it could be a long day. If you're stuck in 465, turn us on because the game will take probably as long as you can get on the other side of town.
Of course, make sure you're not, watching the game. Feel free to listen to it, but don't be streaming it while you're driving. Coach, the big elephant in the room, though, of course, is Heritage Christian. They were talked about as the favorite to win this conference, and both these teams are still nipping neck and neck with Heritage. Who has impressed you more in terms of the matchup you've seen between Heritage, Roncalli, and Brebeuf?
I really like Heritage. I like what they've done with the program. Another new coach. I mean, you have new coaches everywhere, so it's very interesting. Heritage Christian has done a nice job of maintaining what they've already developed. So it could be very, very interesting to see Heritage Christian right there linger. But, the conference doesn't surprise me because, on a given night, Guerin Catholic is really good, Jimmy. We've seen them play, and we also seen Covenant Christian. They're struggling a little bit, but Covenant might have something for Chittard tonight. if you're flat-footed, you get beat tonight by Covenant Christian, the Chatard game is really Brebeuf's to take. So interesting. I just love the conference. Heritage for 2A standards real good. Roncalli has a great schedule. Brebeuf's head coach and new coaching staff, new philosophy is really kind of fun. And it's just watching their players come off the bus, thinking they're going to Heritage Christian, then decided, wait, we're going to the wrong place. We're going to Roncalli, and you spend another 45 minutes on the bus. It's crazy, but they all had smiles on their face when they came in.
For the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves, as Coach kind of mentioned at the start of our broadcast, not only is it maybe you, the listeners, dealing with 465 traffic troubles, but Brebeuf had their own problems as well coming into this one. Initially thought they were going to be headed to Heritage Christian, of all places, and instead are here about hour or so ago. JV game just wrapped up. We can report that the freshman and JV teams of Roncalli completed clean sweeps. The Rebels will be trying to do the same at the varsity level here tonight.
How would you like to go on the bus and the bus driver says, yep, come on, and you realize he's taking you to the wrong place?
Sounds like a trip on the megabus, if you ask me.
You bet.
We're going to step out for the first time here on a pregame show. When we come back, we'll go over a little bit more of the conference and Coach's keys to the game you're watching on Indiana SRN.
I think the best thing that our ministry offers is that when the women come in and they are pregnant and they've reached our scan dates, which are 6 weeks, 4 days to 14 weeks, we're able to image them with ultrasound.
Seeing the image on the screen and hearing a heartbeat clarifies that it is truly life and not just a clump of cells.
You can see babies sucking their thumbs. You can see them running their hands over their heads.
It shows them what God is doing on the inside that they don't feel or don't even think is real, but they see a real image of a real baby on the screen.
It just breaks my heart when a woman, no matter what her circumstances are, that she decides to end that intrauterine pregnancy, that she decides that she's better to go on her own without that baby.
Welcome back to Roncalli High School, the Woodshed. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers, coach that always has a special place in my heart being back here. We didn't think we'd be in this historic gymnasium again, but when the Circle City Conference calls, we'll be there.
And we're here one more time as we will be here for the Roncalli Covenant Christian game. We've been told that they would like us to do that, so we're looking forward to that broadcast as well. And we saw the new facility today, Jimmy, and wow, what a nice facility Roncalli has. And again, this conference is just upgrading all their facilities, and it's just kind of neat just to hang out with the conference, the ADs, and how they do all the whole entire schedules and how they view us, and it's just kind of cool to be part of the family.
I couldn't agree more. As an alum of Roncalli, but getting to see the Circle City Conference itself, as Coach mentions, continue to grow. It really is wild seeing not only this campus change, but also see the rest of the conference change as a whole. He's the coach, Coach Keith Myers. I'm Jimmy Cook, so pleased you've chosen to spend part of your evening with us here on Indiana SRN. We've got a very exciting tilt for you, as we mentioned, between the Roncalli Rebels and the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves. Implications for the Circle City Conference title on the line. And, Coach, we mentioned a little bit in our last segment that you've got all the fixtures for where the standings of the conference sets right now.
Well, if you look at this game, just this game and the team comparisons, Roncalli 375 hits, Brebeuf 370. Kills 75 for Roncalli per game, 55 for Brebeuf. Digs 995 for the total year for Roncalli, 725 for Brebeuf. Assists, this is what's crazy. Assists 400 for Roncalli, 350 for Brebeuf, and in conference opponents, common opponents, 5-1 Roncalli, 4-0 Brebeuf. On paper, this is really a close tilt. I think one of the keys to the game, I don't want to do them all because we haven't done our segment yet, but is who's going to be on fire first and who's not going to let them go. So could be very, very interesting. There's a lot of conference teams, a lot of conference leaders in this game as well, in hitting and kills, and we'll put that out during the game. The other thing is the polls, and those are all crucial this time of year because, season's almost over in 2-3 weeks, Jimmy, and we get ready for the new season. You look at 1A poll, Roncalli's, Lagode's number 1, Callan 2, Trinity Lutheran 3, Pioneer 4, and Rock Creek is 5. In 2A, Bar Reeve, Wampahani, Hagerstown, Southmont, and North Putnam squeezing out Heritage Christian by a point. Heritage Christian is 6th, just off one coach point. 3A got Muncie Burris, Evans Memorial, Fort Wayne Dwenger, Fort Wayne Concordia, Brownstown Central. Then 7th in that spot is Brebeuf. And in 4A, Yorktown, Providence, Penn, McCutcheon, Newcastle go all the way down. In 25th is Roncalli. So both teams represented very well in the top 25. Both teams are very interesting. Both teams play on Thursday. Roncalli plays Parameridian. And, of course, Thursday, Chittard plays Brebeuf. We have that game for you. The one you want to circle the next game after Thursday, circle September 30th, folks. That's a big one. Heritage Christian taking on Roncalli right here on Indiana SRN.
With where the conference is right now and this race heating up for the Circle City Conference title, I don't want to spoil any keys, but who needs this one more?
Brebeuf. I think because of the youth of the program and in the new setting, because this is all new to them. They're with the new coaching staff. So, but this is a toss-up. Who really knows? Roncalli has the home court advantage. Nice little crowd on hand again. As you can see, there's hardly any seats open over on the other side. So it's kind of neat. And I tell you what, a lot of people in the state are tuning this game in to see how good both of these teams really are. And I guarantee you there's other 4 teams in the conference that will probably watch this in replay.
We expect it to be a full house here in the final season at Roncalli's Woodshed. We'll be back with Coach's Keys to the Game after this. You're watching on Indiana SRN.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Welcome back to the Woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers as the Roncalli Rebels 11-8 on the season host the Rook Jesuit Braves 11-3 on the year. It's that time. You've been waiting for it. It's Coach's Keys to the Game.
Keys to the game, and we will start with Roncalli first. They have to protect home court. They are 5-1 on this home court this year, and they need to protect that home court. They have to get off to a very fast start, Jimmy, and by that means they got to get to 5 very quickly to make sure that Brebeuf knows that they're playing Roncalli. And then they have to play Roncalli volleyball. They got to hit every single ball back. They got to eliminate their mistakes. And then they have to serve 90% or better. Coach, I was amazed when she told me, yep, you're right, 90% or better. That's really a tough task to do, but let's see if they can get that done. For Brebeuf, just play relax. It took you 3 hours to get, it took you 2 hours to get here. Just relax, have fun with it. And then use what brought you, your front line and great hitting. Keep the ball alive. The more you can keep the ball alive, the better off you're in. Cut down on your unforced turnovers, and then play with confidence. Know that Brebeuf is maybe an underdog here, but play with that confidence that you did against Heritage Christian and the other teams that you played this year. I kind of like the matchup. I really love the coaches' matchup. because both of them really come, when we come into the gym, they come seek us out. They really appreciate what we do, and they're always brutally honest with us, which I think is kind of cool. I think also tonight is the key of the officiating. Are they going to let them play the double hits, and the carries? Are you going to call it tight, or are you going to call it loose? Both officials are state officials, very good officials. B.J. Brown will be the up official, and then Steve Matthews, who we've seen 4 or 5 times already this year, does a really nice job doing this game.
Over, under 4 games, Coach?
Over.
Over?
Yeah, it's going to be a long night, Jimmy.
I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
We will have our final thoughts along with lineups and ultimately the first service here momentarily as we step out briefly as they do the prayer and the national anthem here at the Woodshed in Roncalli High School. The coach, Keith Myers and Jimmy Cook, will be back right after this on Indiana SRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
You need a water.
Welcome back inside the Woodshed here at Roncalli High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. I got plenty of water. I'm ready to roll for this broadcast this evening.
I owe Riley bad right now.
The Rebels preparing for starting lineups as we speak. We're going to get to those for you in a little bit. We're going to wait in the order that they do the anthem and the prayer. They're going to do rosters first right now as they're doing. We'll have those for you before first service begins. But Coach, I guess a final thought before we get going tonight and step out for the prayer of the national anthem. If somebody wants to get involved with Indiana SRN, where do they go do that?
You know, thanks for bringing that up. You know, it's kind of cool as we're running down to the end of the season. Football season's in week 5. Volleyball season has a couple of games left. If you would like to help us get sectionals and regionals on, we really could use the help. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. It would be very helpful. It's very reasonable to put these games on the air. You know, we just love to put kids on the TV and especially internet radio. It's been a lot of joy to do that for 10 plus years, Jimmy. So if they want to contact us at coach@indianasrn.org, they're more than happy to do that, and we would really appreciate it. Final note, I want to say hello to my lovely wife. She's back up and walking. It's been about a week since she's had the surgery, 1 week today. Stronger today. Looks like she's going to be able to make it to us in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that. Also, keep it real close since the games are running late today. City Draw is Sunday on 9/21 at 1:30. We'll tell you more information about that in just a few minutes.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. Today's episode in the story is one of the saddest we'll ever find in the Bible. Just like many great stories throughout history, this story is about to get a lot worse before things get better. That said, grab a tissue or hold the hand of somebody next to you, if you know them, and just try to take this story in. God had given the Israelites warning after warning through the prophets about how bad things would happen to them if they didn't turn away from their wickedness and start to follow God again. But the people of Israel just wouldn't listen. I don't know, maybe they were doing what we all do at times, thinking that even with all the bad choices they were making, they had things under control. But now, it seemed that God needed to do something that would get their attention. So, after years of protecting Israel from surrounding nations, God allowed the northern kingdom to be attacked by the country of Assyria. They drove the Israelites out of their homes and took them into captivity. A few generations later, a country called Babylon attacked the southern kingdom and did the same thing, driving almost everyone out. One nasty part of this invasion is that the Babylonians destroyed the beautiful temple that Solomon had built to worship God and stole all the treasures that were inside of it. For the first time in hundreds of years, the nation of Israel had no real home. Thankfully, there were a few people who hadn't forgotten about what God had promised through the prophets. They knew that their current situation was bad, really bad, but they trusted that God had a plan, and they committed themselves to following God. Some amazing stories in the Bible come out of this time period. Brave and heroic acts of men and women who chose to follow God no matter what. Like one group of guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These three were some of the finest Israelites living in Babylon. The king had put them to work, each in their own area of expertise. At that time, the king had a 90-foot-tall gold statue of himself built and commanded everyone in Babylon to pray to it or be executed. Well, of course, these three guys weren't having any of that. They were going to follow God even if it meant they'd be executed. This made the king so angry that he threw him into a fiery furnace. But when he looked into the furnace, the king not only saw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walking around unharmed, he also saw a fourth figure who looked like the Son of God. The king was so impressed with God's protection that he gave special privileges to these brave guys. There's a bunch of other stories like this, and you should read them all when you get a chance. Promise you, it will be one of the most inspiring things you ever read. It's almost like God was using each of these folks to remind the Israelites living in captivity that God hadn't forgotten about them and had a plan for rescuing them. Makes me wonder where we might see reminders like that in our own lives every day. Sometimes I think they're kind of tough to spot, but I bet if we slowed down and looked hard enough, we'd see how God is reminding us that there's a plan for each one of us.
Welcome to the Woodshed. First service begins for Brebeuf, and we have a counterattack by the Rebels. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. After this point, we'll throw up our starter graphics for you as we go over the starting lineups. Brebeuf with a little counterattack, nice bump and a cross-court shot that's in the net, and that's a point for the Rebels. Let's take a look at the Brebeuf starters. Led by the likes of Sydney Robinson and Abby Richmond, to name a few.
The highlighted number 7 is the libero. She is on the floor right now.
Rebel service. They lead 1-0. A long shot that's airmailed by Brebeuf. That's 2-0 Rebels. Take a look at the Roncalli starters.
This is leadership right here. The key here is number 19, the libero. Halter is the key tonight's game.
She made a huge impact when we were here just a few weeks ago. Rebels lead at 2-0, and Brebeuf is on the board with that spike by Maddie Siegel.
Momentum's the key here, Jimmy. You got to keep the momentum. You got to keep the service as much as possible.
Service will belong to Bella Schumacher, the 5'8 junior. Critical tilt for the Circle City Conference. A set and a spike that is out. Could not ride the line that time.
Boy, I tell you what, that ball came back quick and fast.
And that serves in the net. 3-2 Rebels. Service for Faith Birch, the 5'10 freshman, gets a let serve over the net. 4-2 Rebels.
Yeah, that's the second time they've called that ball hitting the floor, but Jimmy, it looks like that hand is underneath there. It looks like a pancake, but it hit the floor. They said so, side out.
Coach, I don't mean to go totally off of what's happening on the floor as we wait for Faith Birch's service, but if you look in the student section, and you might see it here, there is a ace. It's a Roncalli ace. It's on a huge piece of cardboard cutout. Somebody spent a lot of time on that.
Yep.
Students, there it is. There's the ace.
I do believe that Ben will probably focus on that a little bit tonight.
Big fan. Big fan of the ace. 5-2 Rebels. Cross-court shot. Received on the back line that time by Wilson. Now she comes up for the spike. Counterattack by Brebeuf.
Oh,
Halter
rotate.
there for the dig. They'll set up Wilson again. Down.
You notice back, Roncalli did a nice job rotating the ball, filling the hole, filling the gap, and realized that Brebeuf had weak side open and took advantage of it. Roncalli leads 6-2.
They're rolling early. Rebels have been on a tear as of late. Faith Birch's serve. It's a let serve again. Got it down for the ace.
Tell you what, that just rolled over. Nice job. Nicely done. Both athletic directors here tonight, Ted Hampton and Dave Locke.
Served by the Rebels. Counterattack by Brebeuf. Shot is kept alive by Halter. What a play.
My goodness.
But that one goes down for the point. Credit Halter and Johnson for keeping that play alive.
Good job.
It's not meant to be. It highlights, though, one of your key players to watch for. Halter, one of the best young liberos in Central Indiana.
I think she's one of the best in the state as a sophomore.
I wouldn't disagree. Service up coming for the Braves.
Hit the net.
Received by the Rebels. Wilson spiked it through and powered it behind the back line.
Tell you what, Wilson took a step forward and just followed and it extended the reach. Nice hit.
8-3 Roncalli. Rebels rolling early. Holly Rader prepares her service. That's down for an ace. Pull out the card. There it is.
There it is.
A timeout taken by Brebeuf. Will take one as well. 9-3 Rebels in game one on Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Jimmy Cook, the coach Keith Myers back at the woodshed. Rebels scoring a point on a nice loft shot just a few seconds ago. Their service continues for Sammy Moylan. 10-3 Roncalli. Spike is blocked. Rebel point.
Not only blocked, but the net helped that a little bit. Bring it right back, and you see how tight that net is. That's going to be key because net play is going to be one of the pluses tonight.
All Rebels so far. Raiders service is down for an ace. Where's the card? Student section falling asleep.
Gaddis had a hard time regrouping there and just fell right between her. 12-3.
While Raider continues her service, the 5'6 senior. It's received by the Braves. Look for a spike for Siegel, and it got around the Rebel front line.
Gotta love that. She went right to them, not ran around or just went right to that. Nice job. Now Brebeuf needs to put some pieces together.
Abby Richmond, the 5'6 senior, and the libero will have the service.
This place is packed.
Halter chases that down, keeps it alive.
Nice hit.
Siegel, spike. Rebels look to return. Short drop shot, drops once again for Roncalli.
Good old campfire right there, right at the 10-foot mark.
It'll make it 13-4 as Halter's service continues on the far left side. Halter, back line received by the Braves. Nice adjustment.
Oh, they called a two-hit.
Two-hitter by the Braves, so point for Roncalli.
That's a tough call.
Tough call, especially at this juncture of the match, as Brebeuf searching for points and answers.
B.J. Brown, the official up on the ladder, and Steve Mathis on the floor tonight.
Halter, overhand serve, received by the Braves. A bump and a shot by Richmond. Quick to it that time was Birch. Soft touch shot by Johnson is down. 15-4 all Rebels.
A couple of times they've gone to there, and Brebeuf has not had a good job of falling through to go get that ball. They will adjust, though, Jimmy. This is best of 5. They will adjust to that.
Halter's service. Received by Schumacher. They'll set up Siegel. Rebel attack responds. A block of the net.
Wow.
I don't know if it was the bus ride or if it's just the Rebel energy, but right now it's too much for Brebeuf. 16-4, Roncalli will stay here. Coach, this is a complete flip of the script in terms of the way that we've seen Brebeuf's games go to this point in time. They've always been in them. They've always been competitive, and the coach is right. It is early. There's time for adjustments, but full speed for Roncalli right now.
Yeah, Roncalli's, that home court, maybe that long rest ride, but, one of the things that Coach told me today was we just have to readjust. We just have to play our game, and if we have to readjust after game 1, we will. I want to throw it back to Ben. There's a guy in the gym that both Jimmy and I very much like. That's Rob Brown, the guy in the Gilligan hat.
That's a white bucket hat.
That man has done so much for Indiana SRN and, of course, your career in helping us. Anytime we're at Roncalli, he gives us so much information. Rob Brown, we thank you very much. He needs to work for Indiana SRN.
Best ID in the state.
No question.
Would not be where I'm at without the great Rob Brown. Always good to see him here at the Woodshed. I know he's excited about the new digs, though, for sure, right across the way. Back to live action with Halter's service. It's received by the Braves. Rebel counterattack. Now Siegel for the Braves. Her shot is partially blocked. They'll say a violation against the Rebels, so it'll be a point for Brebeuf.
Ball hit the antenna, which caused it to be out.
So Maddie Siegel, the 5'11 sophomore, made such an impact on many a Braves contest, has the service. A counterattack by Roncalli. Is that down? It is.
Yes. Wow.
Cross-court spike drops for the Rebels. Well, when you're hot, you're hot. And it's 17-5, Roncalli.
One of the keys of the game for Roncalli was to get off fast, and they definitely done.
Done that and then some. Elizabeth Orger, her overhand jump serve, received by Richmond. They'll set up Robinson. Her shot is received by the Rebels. A bump and a spike that drops. Powered through that time.
That's great.
By Murphy.
I mean, that's great play by Brebeuf. They just can't put the ball back in play. But that's exactly what you want, Jimmy. Now you just have to follow that up.
Orger's overhand serve, received by Richmond. A set and a spike opportunity for Robinson. It's blocked. 19-5, Rebels.
That time right there, the libero should have stepped up and put that ball back in play. Roncalli's just one step faster than they are in this game tonight. Just one step.
See if they can regain that step as Orger's serve received again by Richmond. Soft touch by Robinson. Rebels will counter. That spikes in the net by Birch.
That helps you bigly. Now you got to come back and run some points. You're down 19-6. You don't want to give this thing back up until you got at least 13 on the board.
Yeah, at least make Roncalli earn it. Maybe tire him out for the next game.
You're exactly right.
Gaddis service. Received by the Rebels. Spike is, it is down. It is down again. Cross-court shot by Birch. She redeems the last one that went in the net, and it's 20-6 Rebels.
The line judge had the net, had the flag ready to go, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. On point with it.
You don't want to be the line judge tonight, go. Those balls
I
are
don't ever want to be the line judge, but especially tonight. You're exactly right. Grace Irmer's service, the 5'6 senior, that one in the net. 20-7. Rebels still lead, but Brebeuf will take advantage of the service. Greer Frazier. Overhand serve, received by Halter. Spike is in. Oh, it looked like it hit the back line. The line judge says no. It'll be 20-8.
He was very evident.
Yep. I'll take his word for it. 11-3 came the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves into this match, but this is by far the strongest open they've had against an opponent on a broadcast that we've seen. Rebels starting to falter a little bit as that one was an awkward return shot that went short of the net, 20-9. Service continues for Moylan. Overhand, Halter receives. A set. A spike by Birch. Good play that time by Gaddis. Robinson spike. That time it got through the teeth of the defense for Roncalli.
Now,
20-10.
Now you start to believe if you're Brebeuf. Okay, Now we're back in our groove. Now let's play consistent. Let's finish this thing out.
Rebel student section trying to get them back in it. Frazier's service. Nice adjustment shot. Here come the Braves. Robinson, soft touch. No point. Braves starting to click.
How about this? Brebeuf on that little run. When do you call timeout? You call timeout now.
We'll take one as well. 20-11. Roncalli leads with the Braves.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Welcome back to the woodshed at Roncalli High School. Inadvertent buzzer went off.
How does that
after
happen?
Roncalli point, so they'll take the point off the board.
And now you have to
back
replay it. So replay, okay. Good call by the official.
So Frazier will have the service.
Boy, that was a good serve, too.
Yeah.
You want that back.
Rebels receive it. Action in front of the net. Spike is down. Wilson again. 21-11.
Wilson's 5'11", outside hitter. She is a junior. She has some strength in that forearm.
Sarah Lazan. Overhand serve. Richmond. And that was almost late.
They call it net violation on Robinson.
Yeah, they tried to lead her as close to the net as possible. A little too close that time. It's 22-11. Sarah continues her service. Overhand serve.
Nice.
Received by Robinson. Action in front of the net. Soft touch shot. Quick reflexes by the Rebels. Halter not out there. This possession doesn't matter.
Great rotation. Just hit it where they wasn't.
Wilson again. 23-11. Rebels 2 points away from taking game one in commanding fashion. Lizon prepares her service. Overhand hit the net. Overhand shot. Now the Rebels. A set. A soft touch is blocked.
Oh, nice.
Quick reaction shot. That one's off the light fixture, and the Rebels not quick enough to play it. We learned something new about that the other day, Coach.
Yes, we did.
That if it is hit on, if it hit in the air on the returning side, you're fine. But if when you return it over the net, if it's an advantage hit that puts the other team at a disadvantage, it's dead. But if it's hit on your side and hits the fixture, you can still play it as long as you have the hits remaining.
Yep, good.
Spike by Wilson. Returned by the Braves. Halter there to make it on the dig. Birch.
Nice.
Schumacher.
Finish it.
Long.
Just out.
And they say it was not
There's
tipped.
no touch.
24-12, game point for the Rebels. Faith Birch will have the service. The 5'10 freshman to take the early game one in this critical Circle City Conference match. Birch overhand. Out. Long. So it'll be 24-13. And now service will be shifted to Emily Alberts. Overhand serve. A set. They'll go to Wilson. Went soft with the touch that time. Overhand shot by Murphy. Rebels don't go back to Wilson that time. The drop shot, a diving play by Richmond, and a violation on the Braves gives the Rebels the game. 25-13. Roncalli takes game one in this best of 5 set. Stay with us. We'll have more after this. You're watching high school volleyball on Indiana SRN.
Today's game is brought to you by Shin Technology Service Corporation. Technology is about humans and not about machines. Dave and his crew has provided 27 years of software needs. Give them a call. Shin Technology Service Corporation. You may reach him by phone at 317-545-3650 or shintechnology.com. For more information, contact Dave, 317-545-3650.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Welcome back to the Woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. Rebels take a game 1, 25-13. Let's take a look at what's upcoming this week on Indiana SRN.
Thursday night, we got a webcast for you for volleyball. Brebeuf at Chittard. Game time 7 o'clock. We'll go on the air at 6:20. On Friday night, high school football for you. Decatur, also volleyball for you. Decatur Central and Heritage Christian. Soccer tonight, also on Thursday. Covenant Christian at Heritage Christian. That is a girls soccer game. On Friday night, Decatur Central Mooresville. Jimmy will be in the booth along with C.J. Benberry. Frontier takes on Traders Point. That's myself and John Mathis. On the radio, Southport Chittard, Delta Mount Vernon, Tinley Covenant Christian, Shortridge at Heritage Christian, Brown County at Beech Grove, and Guerin Catholic travels all the way to Columbus North. And that's your lineup this week on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
He's the coach, Keith Myers. I'm Jimmy Cook. As we await the final preparations for game number 2. Well, Coach, you mentioned in your keys that for the Rebels, they needed to start out fast. On the Brebeuf side of things, what's the adjustment for game 2?
I think you fill the holes. You got to know where they're going to throw it. Their strength is going to be the outside hitters, so you got to fill that slot. If you're the libero, I think you have to play above the 10-foot mark. And now you have to wait on your leadership. What is your seniors doing in the huddle? What are your juniors doing in the huddle for your young kids? And because your young kids probably are astounded that they got beat as well as they did. They played well, though, late in the game. It seemed like they got their feet. So we'll see how much momentum that could come their way. If you're Roncalli, you get to serve, so you get to start off fast again. And I think that's what won the game, because it was 5-1 before we even knew it.
Given what you've seen from both these teams, do the Braves have it in them? I
think so. These kids are young. They don't quit, and they have fun. I mean, they're still laughing and cutting up. Their body chemistry still believes they can do it. We'll see what game 2 brings them.
Grace Ermer, the 5'6" senior, has the first service of the match, and that is of the game, I should say, and that is the second opening point scored by Roncalli. 1-0. Ermer, overhand serve, another ace. The ace is not ready. The crowd is clamoring for the ace. There it is.
Are we going to see that all night?
Hope so. I'm all about good props in the student section, especially if it's relevant to the sport. The Braves respond on that shot by Johnson.
Circle City Conference is in the house as well as they're covering this game on the media side of the Twitter. Also want to say hello to all our friends that are watching this game on Facebook.
That was an insane sequence there. Halter almost got the pancake with that. She did indeed kept it alive, but the Rebels thought the play was over, were unable to go to a raid there. But it's tied at 2 apiece, and it was tied at 2 in game number 1, if you'll believe it, before Roncalli stormed off. There's a shot by Origer. It's 3-2 Rebels. Always appreciate all the viewers and listeners across the state tuning in. Didn't mean to jump in on Coach's shout-outs there. That shot along the left side, an ace for the Rebels. As we have the back sign of that as a homecoming sign. So somebody has co-opted the ace sign for...
Hey, you got to be creative.
Hey, I get it. That's Around that time of year, that serves in the net.
You know, you look at the games that we've had already on the network this week. It's just so fun to go to each student body and see what they believe about their school and the school pride. It's a lot of fun.
Overhand shot by the Rebels, received by the Braves. Nice play by Halter to get that dig and keep it alive. Braves try to still make them pay, though. That spike, another shot that time. Halter's there, second to it, and the bump completes a continuation of the rally. Siegel. Ermer there to receive it. Wilson. Now the Braves. Soft touch shot. Quick reflexes by Birch. What a rally. Over bump. Soft touch. Now Roncalli. Wilson running up and slams it down. 5-3.
You know, you look at that whole entire rally. Brebeuf had 2 or 3 opportunities where early in the year, those are points.
Yep.
And Roncalli just brings it back alive. Vice versa with Brebeuf.
It's something you might not be prepared for unless you see it in person. Birch overhand serve that one in the net. We'll give the Braves credit, though. They're hanging punch for punch in this second game.
And you're opening the door. Every single time you have an unforced turnover like that, you open the door. And this Brebeuf team can take advantage of that right now.
Murphy, service. Rebels dig in. A set. Wilson spikes it long. Airmailed at that time. Didn't get up enough at her apex to slam that down. And we're tied at 5.
Man, both coaches are coaching hard in this game.
Albert, service. Cross-court running shot.
Oh, nice.
Braves keep it alive. One hit to get it over. It hits off the net, and the ricochet was just enough to catch the back line of the Rebels off balance, and the Braves have their first lead of the night.
Good officiating. If you watch the official, she called it only 1 hit, which was outstanding call, and let them finish that. Nice job by the officials.
Overhand service by Alberts. Rebels receive it. They'll look to Wilson again. Goes up, and that one is blocked.
There you go.
7-5.
How about the Roncalli, the Brebeuf student section, the volleyball team over here just oohing and ahhing every play.
Sticking around and supporting their fellow Braves as they lead this 7-5, their largest lead of the night. Received by Roncalli. Wilson this time. Third time is down.
Boy.
Whew. 7-6.
Dare to go out in front of that. Go ahead. Just
I'm
one.
right. I'm all right.
Maybe let's send Riley out there to get that done.
Maybe if I have like a Kevlar, like military grade vest on, then maybe. Action in front of the net. Cross-court shot is long.
Game a lot closer than game number 1, 7-7. Both teams, I think, both have their feet now.
This is more what we expected coming in.
You're exactly right.
Holly Ritter. Overhand service. Received by the Braves. Nice adjustment shot. Halter's there. Cross-court shot blocked initially. The Braves try to keep it alive. They won't. 8-7.
You know, conference, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 conference leaders of either kills, digs, assists, or aces in this game tonight. That's tremendous.
Overhand shot. And that spike is down.
That was Siegel.
Maddie has not made an impact on this game prior to that one. Her presence has been felt, but that's the first real good, clean spike she's gotten off.
She's ranked number 2 in kills in the conference. You know who's number 1? Colvin from Heritage Christian.
Not supplies. Raven Colvin. One of the players of the year in this conference. There's a block that time by Siegel. 9-8 Braves.
Gotta like the confidence now.
Yep. Wheels are starting to turn for Brebeuf. Richmond, overhand serve. Halter's there to receive it. One more bump. They do get it across. This is all without Wilson.
Go right back to her.
Power shot. Siegel's spike is down. 10-8.
Kind of like that. You go right back to her. She's hot. 3 points in a row by Siegel.
Yep. Maddie's starting to make her presence felt. Halter receives that serve. They'll set up. Soft touch shot. Here come the Braves. That one is well read that time by New. Stiegel spiked it down, powered through the block. She scored the last 4, and the Rebels will still let them play through, 11-8.
Yeah. Coach Marsh is going to let them play through. They play a very strong schedule. They need to learn how to play through with this, Jimmy.
Overhand shot. Spike is down. Rode the back line that time by Abby Johnson.
Boy, that just hit the line.
A much-needed point for the Rebels. It's 11-9. Halter. Emma, we talked about it, how an impact she's made on this conference and on the state. That service is just out, they'll say.
Fast-paced game, high impact. Bissell's letting them play very quick pace here tonight.
Siegel, overhand serve, received by the Rebels. Spike is down. 12-10.
How about Birch on that nice hit? She's 5'10". She's a freshman.
There's a lot of youth on both these teams, and if you're not in the Circle City Conference or not with one of these schools, you better more than likely be shaking in your boots at what could become with the conference as the years go by. That soft shot hits a trickle off the net for Alberts and drops 13-10.
You know, you go overall, the whole entire conference is young, Jimmy.
Yep.
There's not many seniors in this conference at all. Heritage Christian is junior laden. This ball club, both of these ball clubs are freshman, sophomore laden. This conference is going to make some noise.
Robinson. Overhand jump, serve long. 13-11. Just a tad too much on it.
Too much Jimmy John.
There you go. Grace Ermer, the 5'6" senior, will have the service. Overhand shot. Goes to the back line, received by Richmond. One set, spike opportunity. Powered through initially. Now it's received by Halter. That spike is down. Credit that one to Sarah Lazon. 13-12, Rebels back within 1.
One of the things Coach Glass told them, they need to play a little bit stronger up in the net, close that gap.
Grace Ermer's service received by Richmond. A set and a soft touch shot. Halter reads it well. Now a set and a spike blocked.
Much better job there.
They'll go opposite way, and that one is down. Birch does it. From left to right, the Rebels inside and outside, active with the kills on each side of the net.
How about going around that block? Not going through it, but going around that block. Nice play.
Ermer's service continues. We're tied at 13. Rebels scored the last 3, and that service is into the net.
You ask for the floater, and it just doesn't get it done,
Yep.
and you're just frustrated because maybe you should have asked for the harder hit there.
Frazier's overhand service received by Ermer. A set by Origer. Spike by Birch. Dug in deep well by the Braves. Frazier overhand shot long. All tied at 14. Sarah Lazon has the service. 5'10" sophomore. Braves tried to answer. Siegel found herself on the back line, and her overhand shot is in the net. 15-14. Roncalli. Sarah prepares her serve. Received by Richmond. Bumps get it over for the Braves. Spike. Well played by Richmond. Nice soft touch shot by Birch. And Richmond tried to dive for it to keep it alive. Could not.
Yeah, but that's really hard because that ball went to the ceiling, which is good, and it came back off pretty hard.
Yep.
You know, these low ceilings kill you.
Yep. Not going to be a problem at the Woodshed 2.0. That's the name I made up. I don't know what they're going to call the new gym. And that's a point for Roncalli.
17-14. How long do you – good call. Timeout by Brebeuf. We'll take one.
We'll keep it here.
Okay, we'll see. We'll keep it here.
As the Rebels and Brebeuf both trading punches back and forth in this second game. Coach, what's been the difference for Brebeuf in terms of, energy is clearly up, but what have you seen differently from a mechanics perspective?
Confidence. I think that game number 1, late in the game, they got their feet, and now they now they start from scratch, if you will, 0-0, and the confidence level. You're still in this game at 17-14. What you want to do if you're the coach right now, you call timeout, relax, play the way we play, we'll be fine. You need this game, though, if you're Brebeuf. You really, really need this ball game. If you're Roncalli, keep bringing the heat.
17-14 the score. Luzon service continues for the Rebels. This was tied at 14. Roncalli scored the last 3 straight. Sarah, overhand serve. Received by Richmond on a bump. Shot there by Robinson. Is over the net. Set. Spike ricocheted. Richmond on a bump. Seaman shot. Not that time. Overhand blocked. Good defensive effort by the Braves. 17-15.
Couldn't put past the front line. Nice defense. Nice run. Now you're down by 2. You need a couple of points here to stay in it.
Overhand shot. A spike by the Rebels is blocked by the Braves. 17-16.
Coach Marsh over there telling their kids to got to attack the net.
Overhand serve by Schumacher. Halter's there. Spike is blocked. Quick reflexes by the Rebels. A bump by Halter. Wilson, nice soft shot. Richmond was ready for it though. Siegel, spike is wide. 18-16, Roncalli.
I was surprised that ball wasn't touched because that was right down the line there. Good call by the line judge. 18-16, the Rebels.
Faith Birch, a 5'10 freshman. Her running service received by the Braves. They'll set up Siegel again, and nobody was home.
Tell you what, Siegel has played very, very well this game. 4 or 5 big hits.
Her presence was not felt in game 1, but she's made it a point of emphasis to be active in game 2.
Not bad for a sophomore, huh?
Nope, not bad at all. Alberts will have the service. Halter had to die for that to keep it alive. They'll set up Wilson for the spike. It's blocked, and no one's there to keep it alive.
How about the pancake to keep that ball alive? But this just didn't follow through as we got it tied. We'll take a break. It's 18-18. We'll be back. Indiana SRN.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Welcome back to the Woodshed at the campus of Roncalli High School. All knotted up at 18 out of the Rebel timeout. It'll be service for Alberts for the Braves. Overhand service. Received on the back line. They'll look to set up Wilson. The soft touch shot. Good read by Alberts. Here come the Braves. Siegel's been so hot to this point in time. Her soft touch shot is received by Roncalli. That spike is blocked. 19-18 Braves.
The front line of Brebeuf has vastly improved, learned how quickly to bring that back. Nice job. That's a coach's adjustments.
Albert, overhand service, takes a kick off the net. The Rebels again will go to Wilson. The spike, that time Richmond's there for it. They've adjusted well to that. Siegel spike blocked. Braves trying to keep it alive. Bump is clean. Halter a bump, a set. Wilson, soft touch shot, and the rally will continue. Siegel, nice dive by the Rebels. A bump, Wilson, soft touch shot. Found a space to put it down. We're tied at 19.
Boy, I tell you what, They did a nice job. Brebeuf Schumacher almost made that play. One step quicker, and she would have put that ball in play. 19-19. This is going to come down to the wire, folks.
Molly Rader. Overhand service. Receive the back line of the Braves. Siegel, soft touch shot. Just barely got past. Returned by the Rebels. Siegel again. That one's a spike. Halter's there to read it. A set. A spike. Blocked. And can Richardson keep it alive? No.
Yes.
Oh, she does. Now the Rebels. Soft touch shot. Good reactions by the Braves. Siegel spike. Ricocheted off a block. 20-19. Braves are 5 points away from taking game 2.
Little frustration there if you're Roncalli. You got to realize they're going to go down the line, so you got to bring your defense to that side of the ball.
Richmond, overhand serve. That one hit the neck of Rader. 21-19. That timeout taken by the Braves will stay here. Coach, it's a race to 4 for the Braves, and the Rebels looking to put together a little bit of a run to keep this Brave rally at bay.
Yeah, you know, Brebeuf has done a nice job of regrouping, if you will, really good coaching adjustments as she adjusted the front row. You notice they're attacking the ball a lot more in this game than they did in game number 1. If you're Roncalli, what you have to do, you got to read the floor a little bit better. I think you're playing well, but Brebeuf seems like they want this game a little bit more intense. It's going to come down to the wire. Let's see. I think whoever wins this game could take advantage the rest of the night.
Well, if you are the Braves, though, in hostile territory here at the Woodshed, you can't afford to go down 2-0.
No, you can't. You're
with,
exactly
with
right.
With the juncture you're in at the game, you're more than likely to get the brooms here at the Woodshed if you fall down 2-0. Out of the Rebel timeout, Richmond will have the service. They lead 21-19 to the Braves. Spike is down. Much needed point for Roncalli. Molly Rader there. Remember, she took the shot there in the neck on that last return by the Braves. A little redemption for her there. 21-20.
Rotation was much better too, Jimmy.
Halter will have her service. Jump serve. Braves return. Siegel spike out. Woo! That came out about 100 miles an hour, but it was just long of the mark. And we're tied at 21. So now it is a race for 4 for both teams. Halter's service. Overhand jump serve. Alberts is there. Now Richmond. Siegel, soft touch shot. Rebels ready for it. Spike blocked. Halter kept it alive. They'll go to Siegel again. Blocked on the spike. Now Richmond keeps it alive. 2 great plays by each libero. Block again. The rally rolls on. Siegel that time kept it long, and it stayed down. The play could not be made by Rader. What a rally win for the Brebeuf.
How about the net play with the big girls up front?
Woo! Maddie Siegel will have the service. Rebels keep it in check. Soft touch shot. Ricochet down. Tied at 22. Neither team giving an inch.
Now you're tied at 22. Now you race to 3.
Yep. Critical juncture in the match. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. Rebels lead 1-0. Potentially Circle City Conference title implications on the line. Origer's service. Spike by Robinson. Powered through. 23-22. Braves faithful in attendance, which there are quite a few of them. Give the applause. Service by Gaddis. Received by the Rebels. Halter's there. Cross shot long. Miscommunication there by the Rebel defense.
Collision there with the libero. You got to call that ball. And now the Braves are to 1 point.
Gaddis. Service to tie it up at 1 game apiece. Overhand serve. Received by the Rebels. Action in front of the net. Misplay, but it just barely got bumped over. Rebels dodge one. They'll go. Soft touch shot in the net. Rebels very, very close to giving up that game. And now it's 24-23, and now one of your power players in the junior Miranda Wilson will check back in.
Yeah, Robinson that time probably would have second-guessed, probably would have hit that harder, just couldn't get it across.
Grace Ermer, service received by Richmond, and we're tied at 24. We'll stay here. Well,
Jimmy,
Coach, now we're locked in a race to 2 no matter what.
Yeah, now you got it. Now you played it 2. This thing could end up 35-33. But don't want that to happen. But I've seen some games. Had a game this weekend myself as an official, 31-29.
Wow.
So these games can go a long way. And this is when you're got to be very, very crisp. And you got to remember, this is only game 2 of best of 5. So this game go a long time. What does that look like for game 3, game 4, and so on?
We have cross-court student section fights verbal taunts between the Rebel student section and the JV volleyball team.
Yeah, we got spirit. How about you? Well, the Brebeuf Brave volleyball program over there has got spirit.
Representing
I tell you what,
well.
There's people all over this gym.
All over the rafters here at the Woodshed. Grace Ermer will have the service. We're tied at 24. Again, win by 2 implications on the line for this game.
Both coaches out of timeouts. That's important to know.
Ermer's service. Received by Richmond. Action in front of the net. Blocked. We'll go back to it. Soft touch shot. Rebels keep it alive. And that's a point for Brebeuf.
That's an unforced turnover because you played at the net. You need to finish.
And now the Braves have game point. Overhand service received by the Rebels. Wilson, spike is down. We're tied at 25. Siegel did her best to get the dig there, but too much was on it.
I just like how she went to get the ball.
Most people would have turned away. Sophomore is not most people. We're tied at 25.
Rebels now look at the stack there. Good alignment here.
Was on service. Richmond receives. Brave set up Siegel. Down.
Tied. Wow.
The Braves now game point. Service belongs to Schumacher. Halter's there. They'll go to Wilson again. She got it last time. She gets it this time. Tied at 26.
Got a mom next to me, Jimmy, and I tell you what, she used to have nails. I don't think she has any more nails. She ate popcorn. She's eating her nails, and now she's chewing on a cap from her Coke.
I can't blame her. It's the nail biter. Let's serve for the Rebels. Drops down for Ermer. 27-26, game point. Rebels could take a commanding 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 match. We talked about the Circle City Conference implications. Faith bursts the service, overhand. Richmond receives, close to the net. Soft touch shot, Halter's there to adjust. Wilson gets it over. Siegel. Spike is down. 27 all.
I tell you what, the Brebeuf Braves coaching staff wanted a double hit. Didn't call it. 27. Got to win by 2, folks.
Alberts will have the service. Overhand shot.
Nice.
Received by the Rebels. They'll go to Wilson again. Spike is down. Power through. She's gotten 3 of the last 4 points when called upon.
And now she comes out of the game because now you bring in a very good server for Brebeuf and number 6.
Molly Rader.
Rader has done it all year for them.
A chance to take the 2-0 lead. Rader service. Richmond's there. They'll go to Siegel. Blocked for the game. 29-27. Rebels take game 2. Take commanding 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 set. Game 3 after this on Indiana SRN. Welcome back to Indiana SRN's continued coverage of high school volleyball. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. Coach, you talk about a way to win a match and you talk about a way to lose a match. A continued rally. It took 29 points for Roncalli to win game 2. And now if you're Brebeuf, you're on the wrong side of a 2-0 lead. We talked about it. They were in a situation like this before, earlier in the year. You can't have your foot halfway out the door.
No, and now what you have to do is you have to regroup, and you got to test yourself. Okay, what are we made of? You're not 11-3 just because you're 11-3.
And it's interesting. They've left the gym for this meeting before game 3.
I'll tell you what, Jimmy. I've done this as a coach. You leave them away. You get them down the hallway. You take them away from the whole entire setting because you don't want this crowd to get fired up about it.
Right.
And then you just tell them. And this is where coaching, when you have 4 or 5 coaches, you could surround yourself. Covenant Christian does it very well. They have 4 coaches. They have them in groups. And it's really good because then all of a sudden you're group teaching instead of team teaching.
Well, they're back here. They've walked back into the woodshed.
And if you look at the character, if Ben could look at they're not down and out at all. They feel kind of relaxed, bubbly, and, they know this is a game and they need to win this one. Speaking of Benwood.
The Benwood Fan Club.
Yeah, if you want to be part of the Benwood Fan Club, hashtag Benwood Fan Club. He'll love it.
Is there a dues, like a dues to be paid to be part of the Benwood Fan Club?
I'm sure he'd be happy if you give him any money.
I was inquiring for potential members.
Oh, no. I don't think so. Have you seen the new T-shirts, though?
I've not.
They're really nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. That's good. He splurged this year on the design. That's good.
Yeah, it got a picture of Ben.
It's nice.
With a volleyball in one hand and a football in another one. It's really nice.
And a camera on top of his head.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
That's the Coach Keith Myers. I'm Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for joining us here on Indiana SRN. Game 3. Rebels lead it 2-0 over the Rough Jesuit Braves. Critical juncture for the Circle City Conference title race. Wilson, soft touch shot. Point for the Braves. They called a carry.
First one of the night she called.
And the first lead for the Braves, and first lead for the Braves to open a match. They strike blood first this time. The Rebels had scored the previous 2. That one is short-lived as it's powered through on a cross-court shot. All tied at 1.
Don't forget Thursday night, Chittard, Brebeuf at Chittard, right here on Indiana SRN. Stay with us.
Was on service, received by Richmond. Cross-court shot is down. That one with authority by Poitras.
She's been playing pretty well. I like how she took the bunny hop and just delivered. I like the sneaks, too. High tops.
Big fan. Bella Schumacher, the 5'8 junior, has her service. Braves lead 2-1. Halter. Took a bounce off the beam. Wilson bumps it over. Braves. Spike. Kept alive, and really a fire has been lit underneath the Braves, especially Davia Poitras. She was not as active in the prior 2 games as she has been so far in this one. 3-1 Braves.
That's the senior leadership there, Jimmy.
Schumacher. Halter digs in. Spike blocked. Point for the Braves.
Brebeuf is playing with a little bit more pep. Roncalli, you're up 2-0. You got to learn how to close this out.
Yep. Schumacher has the service. Overhand shot. Halter digs in. A set. Wilson. Spike. Blocked.
Good.
Halter there to keep it alive.
How did she get there?
Now the Braves adjust. Spike. Down. She scored the last 4 as Poitras.
Senior leadership right there. 6'2". Good job. I bet you she had something to say in that hallway.
More than likely. 5-1. Braves on another level. Schumacher's in the net. 5-2.
That hurts your momentum.
Rebels breathe a sigh of relief on that one as they were on the wrong end of that Braves run. Faith Birch will have the service on the far right side. Overhand shot. in the net. She answers right back with one of her own. 6-2 Braves.
Want to say hi to Caleb King, who is watching the game. Hello, Sally. Thanks for tuning in as well. And Thomas Jefferson.
No relation?
No relation.
Albert's service takes a let hit over the net. Soft touch shot by Wilson. Siegel keeps it alive. Halter there. Go opposite side. Takes a bounce off the net. Braves sticking with it. Nice play in front of the net that time by Johnson. 6-3 Rebels.
Johnson stayed at home that time. She was going to back up, realize what was going to happen. Now you're down 6-3. Advantage of your serving here.
Molly Rader. Overhand service.
Oh, deep.
Albert, awkward play. Richmond gets it over the net. Rebel, soft touch shot. Richmond. Alberts. Rebels read it. Cross-court shot. Kept alive. Siegel, overhand shot. Read well. Rally continues. Cross-court. Long. Wide. Point Braves. 7-3. Largest lead of the ball game for the Braves. It matches that. Richmond will have the overhand shot. Back line of the Rebels. One bump to get it over. They do. Action in front of the net. They'll go to Siegel. Her spike ricocheted. Rebels ready. That one is powered through on the shot by Murphy.
Roncalli's not giving up here, Jimmy. Nice job about bouncing back here.
They've held off the initial Braves wave. Halter's serve. An awkward return by Richmond. 7-5.
That's a tough play. You play deep. Got to bring your arm, extend those hands for your platform.
Halter, the run up. Siegel played off of it. Richmond got the shot instead. Rebels have one hit to get it over, and they do. Richmond setting up Siegel, runs up, and it hit in the face of the back line of Raider, but the Rebels are able to keep it alive. Adjustment shot and a net violation, I believe, on the Braves. Point for the Rebels.
Oh, they called a net violation on Brebeuf.
Yep. Net violation on the Braves. They made contact with the net on that cross shot.
Jimmy, I think that was the ball, to be honest with you. I really do believe that was the ball. Wow. That's a tough call. So now the captain is going and talking to the official. Now she can make the determination as a replay or play the ball as is, and that's exactly what they're going to do, play as is.
So the Rebels get the point, and they're back within one. Halter's service, received by the Braves. Richmond's shot. Rebels read it well. Spike, down. Rebels tie it, 7-7.
Do you call a timeout early here? Do you call this timeout, or do you let them play? 7-7, she's going to let them play.
I think that's the right call, Coach, given it being a 2-0 deficit. And you want the Circle City Conference title, but this is a great teaching moment from an adversity perspective. Halter's service. Braves cross-court shot. Nobody home. Nice play.
Not only did you make a play, but you made them look kind of silly because they're flat-footed at that point.
Yep. Richmond. Make that. Siegel, rather. Serve received by the Rebels. Spike is down. We're tied at 8.
Nice job by Siegel putting that ball high in the air, but just no answer for the return.
Elizabeth Origer, the 5'7" senior.
You need to stay close here if you're the Brebeuf Braves.
Overhand service. Richmond, action in front of the net. Spike gets through. 9-8, Braves.
If you fall down 2 or 3 points here if you're Brebeuf, it's huge.
Yep, you got to keep it within this margin.
Yes, 1 or 2.
Of course, when you have the lead in the driver's seat, it all goes out the window anyway. Gaddis, overhand serve. Here come the Rebels. That spike is down. 9-9. No one was there on the back line.
They didn't rotate over, Jimmy. They didn't fill the hole.
We talk about the importance of communication, especially in a situation like that. Grace Ermer, the 5'6 senior, her run up to the serve. Received by Siegel. That's a bump on one hit over the net. Wilson, spike to the net. Misread that one.
Boy, I tell you what, you had to play at the net. You just need to put that ball, maybe a second hit there.
Yep. That let's serve, kept alive by the Rebels. Nice adjustment shot, and the Braves even quicker to it. Halter. Wilson, spike down, rode the left line.
Oh, they called it in.
10-all. Wilson rode the left line.
Boy, that hit the line, didn't it?
Yep.
Good camera shot there, Ben.
+5 fans there with that camera shot. Was on, service, overhand, long.
11-10, Brebeuf. Game number 3. They're down 2-0.
Bella Schumacher has the service. Neither team creating separation in this pivotal third game. The Braves had a meeting off the floor in between games 2 and 3. It paid dividends early as they jumped out to a 4-0 lead, but the Rebels have responded right back, and you can make the case the momentum is even.
The campfire shot there.
Tied at 11. And number 11, Faith Birch, will have the service. Soft serve shot. They go to Siegel. Spike, ricochet. Wilson kept it alive, but that's one hit to get it over. Rebels again, or Braves again. Siegel's that time blocked, but ricocheted out on Roncalli. Braves take the lead 12-11. The good news for Brebeuf right now in terms of the back and forth, they are the ones in the driver's seat with that. Every time a point is scored against them, it's a tie. Every time the Rebels falter, they take the lead back. Albert's service. Halter calls for it. Wilson, spike, cross-court shot, nice dig by the Braves. They'll go to Siegel on the spike. What a play. 13-11.
No answer there, right in the middle of the floor. Both coaches have done a nice job.
Yep.
You can tell they scouted each other very well in this game.
Service will continue for Alberts. Overhand shot. Wilson. Ricocheted. Siegel. Blocked. Halter tracks it down. That shot, ricochet, that's going to be a point. Good effort by Schumacher. But the Rebels just one better. They're back within 12, 13-12.
Kind of like the idea.
13-12.
Kind of like the idea what Roncalli did that time. Made him go all the way to the back and bring the ball back up.
Ruder. Overhand service. Received by Richmond. Siegel.
Touch.
Rebels there. A bump. A spike. It's long and wide of the mark. 14-12. Braves by 2. Richmond service. Dug in by the Rebels. Slight miscommunication. Richmond is there. They'll go to Siegel. Halter there to dig in. Now she'll overhand shot it. They'll go to where she wants it again. Siegel blocked. One more time, Siegel. That one could not be chased down. Almost took out a parent's iPhone there.
Yep.
15-12.
She might be recording this game. Now you need to finish if you're Brebeuf.
Richmond overhand service. Dug in by Halter. Front of the net. Spike. Oh, good dig. One hit to get it over. They do. Rebels look to answer. Cross-court shot. Adjustment. One more. Spike. Nope. Braves having none of it. Siegel. That one, no. Looked like that might put it away. Spike the other way. No, it's an adjustment shot. A soft touch shot that time by Murphy.
They were waiting for the hard hit and just soft touched it over.
Beautiful presence of mind by Murphy.
Gotta like that.
Halter will have the service. One of the top players on this team. Richmond. They'll go to Siegel again. It's blocked. And a net violation on the Rebels. (16-13). Roncalli couldn't afford that there. And the Braves in the driver's seat with that 3-point advantage. Siegel, overhand serve. Play in front of the net. Spike, good read that time. The Braves making plays they didn't make in games 1 and 2, but the Rebels just a step faster that time. 16-14 back within 2.
Yeah, but that time Gaddis should have just let that ball go because that ball was heading out.
Yep.
Touched the ball, hit the line. 16-14. Now, if you're Roncalli, you need to string along some points here.
Overhand serve.
Nice.
Richmond digs in. They'll go for a spike. Long. Rebels back within 1. Momentum starting to shift Roncalli's way here in the woodshed. Final season of this historic venue. Action in front of the net. Good play by the Braves. Frazier there to get the point. 17-15.
She just took control, didn't she?
Yep.
Frazier, 6-foot junior, middle hitter.
Gaddis. Overhand serve. Rebels dig in. Spike. Continues. Overhand blocked. Chasing that down into the crowd is Siegel. Richmond has one hit to get it over. She does. Birch. That one's down.
Siegel, keep that ball alive. She ran all the way over to the out of bounds mark. Just her toe right on that line. Nice job. Fans did a great job of separating Jimmy. That's great sportsmanship by the Roncalli people.
You wouldn't see that in baseball.
No.
Set opportunity. Soft touch shot drops. Good adjustment by the Braves. 18-16. Both these teams want this third game. Rebels for the sweep. Braves for life extended. Frazier. Halter digs in. Spike. Blocked. Again was Poitras. 19-16, the lead's back to 3. Rebels want a timeout. We'll take one as well on Indiana SRN. Welcome back to the woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. 19-16, nice roller coaster by the Brebeuf.
Nice little
JV
roll there.
volleyball team.
I kind of enjoyed going over and doing that. That was kind of fun. Thanks for letting me do that.
Frazier overhand serve, received by Halter. Soft touch shot. Braves are ready for it. Roncalli leads 2-0. Soft cross shot, blocked by the Braves. They're 5 points away from forcing a game 4. Service for Frazier. Braves starting to feel it. Overhand shot, long. Good play that time by Ermer to let it go.
Boy, you get that point, and you're really in the driver's seat. Now you maybe have the door a little bit open here.
There's a crack. There's a crack open in the door. Service. Richmond. They look to set up a spike. Block. Noah got through. What a power play that time by Poitras. 21-17.
Star her name. She's the star of this game, number 3. No question.
Absolutely. The 6'2 senior brought momentum on another level from the onset of this third game. Schumacher, overhand service. Halter digs in. Wilson. Good dig by Schumacher. They go to Siegel. Ricocheted, point. 22-17. Different look for the Braves. All smiles, timeout Rebels. We'll take one as well on Indiana SRN.
If you find yourself confronted by unwanted pests in your home or office, then you need to contact the professionals at Kim Mountain Pest Control. We offer quality pest control solutions at an affordable price. We specialize in ants and termites. We're also available to handle a variety of other pests, including roaches, fleas, and flying insects, as well as rats and mice. Don't wait until pests cause severe damage to your home or property. Contact the team of experts at Kim Mountain Pest Control today.
Welcome back to the Woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Rebels lead the match 2-0, but the Braves in the driver's seat 22-17.
Hey,
Coach Keith Myers.
Yeah, if you want to try to get a hold of us, try Twitter. We are at close to 1,000. We get 1,000 tweeters, whatever that might be, followers. We're going to give you dinner if you're the 1,001. So tweet us at Indiana SRN.
Soft touch shot by Birch. Stiegel. Blocked by the Rebels. Action in front of the net. Wilson, spike. That one blocked as well. Braves setting up an adjustment. It's well read by Ermer. Wilson, a bump over the net. Here come the Braves. Soft touch shot. Diving for it to keep it alive. They have one hit. Ermer does it, but there's bodies everywhere for the Rebels. Spike. Halter kept it alive. What a recovery. Wilson. Spike. Down. All Poitras that time. 23-17. Braves 2 points away from forcing a game 4. Wow. Schumacher, overhand service. Halter there. Wilson sends it down. 23-18. Deficit is 5. Braves are 2 points away.
You cannot make mistakes here if you're Roncalli.
Nope. I'll tell you this much, though. If you're Brebeuf, put him away now.
Definitely.
Don't let him sneak back in here. Birch, overhand service. Richmond's there. Once again that time, it's Poitras. Wilson, overhand shot is long. Game point for the Braves. They've worked hard for this one. Earned it from the onset. Key Poitras.
Key was left the court. Yep. I bet you that senior talked to him.
Yep. Albert service. Overhand shot. Received by the Rebels. Wilson got the spike down to keep the Rebels alive. 24-19. Oh, do the Rebels have 5 straight in them? They haven't shown it in this third game, but you know it's there.
Mass substitutions.
Molly Rader. Overhand shot. Siegel. Halter's there. Spike. Kept alive by the Braves.
Tina.
And that's it. 25-19. Braves take game 3. Game 4 after this on Indiana SRN.
I think the best thing that our ministry offers is that when the women come in and they are pregnant and they've reached our scan dates, which are 6 weeks, 4 days to 14 weeks, we're able to image them with ultrasound.
Seeing the image on the screen and hearing a heartbeat clarifies that it is truly life and not just a clump of cells.
You can see babies sucking their thumbs. You can see them running their hands over their heads.
It shows them what God is doing on the inside that they don't feel or don't even think is real, but they see a real image of a real baby on the screen.
It just breaks my heart when a woman, no matter what her circumstances are, that she decides to end that intrauterine pregnancy, that she decides that she's better to go on her own without that baby.
I know.
Welcome back to the Woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. might be a new game, at least in Brebeuf's mindset, as they take Game 3 25-19. Rebels still lead the match 2-1. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your day with us here on Indiana SRN.
Worked game number 2. You left game number 3. You left the hallway. Now you left the hallway again. So interesting. My thought on Twitter: it's not Taco Bell that we're going to give you. It's a good meal.
Don't
Creek.
disrespect Taco Bell.
Oh, I'm not. But Aspen Creek Grill is where we're going to take you to dinner if you're the 1,000th follower. Man. No, I love Taco Bell. In fact, I'll probably have Taco Bell on the way home.
I'm saying.
Late night, ding, the bell is open.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Back to matters at hand, though.
It's Coach, not Taco Bell?
I wish.
Okay.
They're not a sponsor, unfortunately.
Hey, Taco Bell, get off. Let's go. Look at the easiest man working. The AD is the easiest guy that's working tonight.
Coach Lauk. Coach Lauk making sure everybody is refreshed and hydrated, whether they're on the floor or behind the microphone or the officials calling these matches. So, Coach, I don't know about you, but growing up, your coach gives you a pep talk in the locker room. For any other sport, okay, it happens once, it got us motivated. Volleyball, it's a different perspective. We're going to a different hallway now. We're having a similar speech to the one we just had. Maybe less yelling, more good job, good work out there. What did you like from the Braves?
What you tell them is that's exactly how we play Brebeuf Braves volleyball. Now don't slide back into your the old habit that you had. Let's continue. You got to win this game though, Jimmy, to force it in game number 5. You can't rest. If you're Roncalli, you said enough is enough. Let's get it done. First 5-6 points will be very interesting here. How this game will turn out.
Rebels will have the service.
At least I'm not playing Candyland. We're watching the game.
Grace Irmer's service is out.
That's an unforced turnover.
Yep. Bad start for the Rebels. Greer Frazier will have the service from Brebeuf. Overhand shot. Halter's there. Cross-court spike. Received by the Braves. Action in front of the net, though. Will play through. A set. Wilson, spike, block, got it down. Powered through it. 1-1.
Jimmy, that really looked like it hit the ceiling on this side of Roncalli to let him play. That's how low this ceiling is tonight.
Sarah Lazan has the service now. Overhand shot is long. Second straight Rebels serve that's gone long of the mark. It's 2-1 Brebeuf.
Earlier in the year, Roncalli had a hard time scoring after they got to 20. And it haunted them back again tonight.
So far, that's what we've seen. Schumacher, overhand service. Halter's there. Action in front of the net. Spike is way long, all the way to the stage. 3-1 Braves.
Does the Braves, are they in the head of Roncalli?
Could be. Very well could be. Bella Schumacher's service. Wilson. Spike is down. Richmond tried to dig in with it. Coach, who almost took one in the face, was very proud of Richmond for staying in front of that ball.
Well, you touched it.
Tried to make a play on it. Didn't run away. Faith Birch service. Rebels within 1. The 5'10 freshman runs up. Richmond calls for it. Very close to the officials' tower. Soft touch shot drops. Good play by Birch. 3-3.
And Brebeuf has had a hard time all night tonight to adjust the long to short shot. Again, Roncalli did a nice job going short.
Birch, overhand shot. Awkward hit. Did they get it over? They do. What a play by the Braves. No, the far line judge says that it went around, not over. 4-3 Rebels. Birch service continues. Richmond's there for it. That spike is dug in deep by the Rebels. Wilson powered through. Barely gets over by Siegel. First time we've said her name in this game. That spike is whiffed.
Missed it.
Misplayed that time by Hill.
Boy, had the right idea, though, didn't they?
Yep. Hill just missed it. Alberts now with the service. 4-4. They'll go to Wilson. Cross-court shot. Richmond's there. Nice adjustment shot. Halter's there. Wilson again. Spike. Blocked. Halter keeps it alive. Action in front of the net. And point for the Rebels. 2 hits.
Boy, if you don't like this game, something's wrong with you. That is so much fun, so intense. The net play has picked it up a step or two
Really
since game number 1.
Absolutely. Really seen another level of net play. Raiders service. Richmond's there. Spike. No, not that time. They go with a soft touch shot and a misplay by Johnson.
Yeah, they got away with a double hit there. Seaman double hit, let it go, but ball falls short, tied at 5.
Richmond service, overhand, dug in by the Rebels, hits a ricochet off the beam, and it keeps the Rebels out of position. 6-5 Braves.
Well, you don't know where that ball's going to come off because it hits the beam, and then you hit the ball. You misjudge where that ball's going to come off the ball, off that beam, off the touch.
Richmond, overhand service, dug in and tipped alive. What a play that's in! Oh my!
Who made that play?
I believe it was Birch to make the ricochet that kept it on the far line, and we're tied at 6.
Wow.
Halter. Emma Halter, the 5'5 sophomore. Gets the let serve. What a break.
Caught the net and just rolls over.
That's fortuitous.
You know, in tennis, that's not allowed.
It's a home net. Halter's service that time is kept alive for the point. 8-6 Rebels, their largest lead since game 2.
Now you need to stay involved. They get a point here, she'll call timeout.
Halter's service continues. The run up, the service into the net. That time, not enough on it. Well, if anything, and it's not even a critique, but that's the one weak point of Halter tonight has been consistency on the service, but everything else has been perfect. And as a sophomore, that's not a bad place to be.
Not bad at all. Hit the antenna.
Point for the Braves.
We're tied at 8.
Siegel, overhand service. Halter digs in again. Now Siegel. Chase it down, overhand shot, dug in by Raider. Murphy, the rally continues. Who will they go to? It's Johnson. Powered through the block, 9-8 Braves. They're down by 2. They've scored the last 4. Make it 3, rather. Siegel, overhand shot. Halter's there. Murphy, blocked. Get it over. Blocked, and Rebel point. Carry. Called against the Braves, 9-9.
Well, that's a tough call because you're trying to protect yourself and push that ball away from your face.
Elizabeth Orger, 5'7 senior. Has the service. Cross-court shot is long on the mark that time by Johnson. And 9 Rebels. Orger, the run up, serve is clean. And nobody's there, it's an ace.
No communication. That's where you miss somebody, say, hey, I got the ball.
11-9 Rebels. They've scored the last 3. Action in front of the net, blocked. Braves are all bunched together. Rebels, the counterattack, the soft touch shot. Alberts is there. They'll work to Johnson. Lofts that one. Now Murphy, spike, blocked.
Nice.
Johnson again. Halter's there, good adjustment, and the soft touch shot's campfire. 12-9.
That's right down the middle.
Timeout Braves. 12-9 Rebels. They lead 2-1 on Indiana SRN.
Hello, my name is Sean Kroll, and I've been a part of the Indiana SRN family for the last 9 years. Last year, we streamed a record 326 sporting events around Central Indiana. All the other guys broadcast basketball and football, but we at Indiana SRN also air volleyball, softball, baseball, and even golf. But we need your help. To continue our mission, please help us by contacting Coach at indianasrn.org. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Welcome back to the Woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. 12-9 the score. Rebels lead by 3. They lead the match 2-1 in this best-of-5 set.
Roncalli's flexing a little bit of a muscle here.
Last couple points they have. Elizabeth Origer's service. Received by the Braves. Siegel dug in for Roncalli. One hit to get it away. It's Halter. She does. And it's a point for the Rebels. 13-9. Origer's service continues. Overhand shot. Action to Johnson. Blocked. Johnson again. Rebels recover. They'll set up a spike. Blocked again. Rebel point. 14-9. And the pendulum of momentum has swung Roncalli's way.
The front line of Roncalli has answered this little storm for Brebeuf.
Origer. Overhand shot. Spike by Johnson. Dug in by the Rebels. One hit to get it over. Halter does. What a team effort there.
How in the world is that going to happen?
They'll set up the spike. Blocked, and it hit right in the face of Lazan. She wasn't ready for it.
Got to like Robinson there. Didn't give up on that one.
14-10. Service for Nia Gaddis, the 5'8 freshman. Abby Richmond checked back in. Cross shot in for the Braves. 14-11.
Tell you what, Richmond makes a big difference on the floor, Jimmy. Makes a big difference on this floor.
Overhand service. Cross-court shot, long.
Here we go. Holly seemed to be.
Soft touch shot. Rebels alter their own soft touch shot. Johnson, Halter's there. Murphy spiked it down, 15-12.
Boy, when they needed points, they have gone to Murphy. Murphy now checking out, but I tell you what, Murphy has played very, very well.
She's been a focal point for the Rebels, no doubt about it. Irmer's serve. Received by Siegel. That's out.
Tell you who else has played off the bench very well tonight is Ruthie New.
Timeout taken by the Braves. 16-12. Will stay here. Coach, we might have a flu game going on for Abby Richmond. Do the Braves have enough momentum behind themselves to get back in this?
It just seems like they don't give up. So it'll be very interesting. The next few points are real important. If you're Roncalli, now this is where home court advantage takes advantage.
While we have a second, let's take a look at our upcoming broadcast schedule here on Indiana SRN.
Thursday night, Brebeuf is at Chittard. That's a webcast volleyball game. Also, Decatur Central Heritage Christian. That's a radio game. We have soccer for you, girls soccer, battle of the conference foes, Covenant Christian and Heritage Christian. Nice little rivalry. That's a soccer game. on Thursday. Friday, webcast, Decatur Central Morrisville, Frontier Traders Point. We'll run down the other ones in just a couple minutes.
Grace Ermer, the 5'6" senior, has the service for the Rebels. Action in front of the net. It takes a bad bounce for Roncalli. One hit to get it over. Wilson does. Goes to Richmond. Overhand shot. Spike long. Point Rebels.
In the radio games, you have Southport, Chittard, Delta, Mount Vernon, Tinley, Covenant Christian, South Shortridge, and Heritage Christian, Brown County, Beech Grove, Gearing Catholic, Columbus North.
Grace Ermer sails that serve, 17-13.
The city draw is on Sunday. Details coming about what we'll be doing there in just a few minutes.
Overhand service of the Braves. Dug in by the Rebels. Spike down. Rode the back line. 18-13. Rebels 7 points away.
Yeah, but this Braves team won't give up, Jimmy. This has been a great match through and through.
Pleasant has her service. Braves get it over. Action in front of the net. Wilson blocked. Halter has her first breather in quite some time. And it leads to a point for the Rebels. 19-13. Sarah's service continues. That one a let serve. Dug in by Richmond. Siegel into the net. 20-13. 5 points away is Roncalli.
Siegel was right on target. The ball he maybe hit that ball a little flat.
Zahn serve. Received by Siegel. They'll go to Johnson. Blocked. Richmond kept it alive. Johnson again in the net. Braves one more time. That cross-court shot ricochets, and again the rally continues, but it's on the Braves side entirely. They'll go to Wilson. Richmond there again. Back to Johnson. Blocked. Richmond keeps it alive. Other side cross-court shot. Adjustment shot. Nice dig by the Rebels. In front of the net, it went short.
Siegel.
Critical point there for the Braves.
Nice job. Robinson on the hit.
20-14, and Emma Halter back out there for Roncalli. Schumacher's service. Brave trail by 6. They trail this match 2-1. Halter's there, the first touch. Wilson, spike in the net. 20-15, Braves pleading themselves to dig in.
Watch the adjustment here. I think Brebeuf is going to go long on this one.
There's the service. Halter's there for it. Action in front of the net. Wilson, the spike this time. Ricochets. Richmond keeps it alive. It went over the net in one hit. Good read by the Rebels. Wilson, spike. Ricochets down. 21-15. 4 away for Roncalli.
And now if you're Brebeuf, you're out of timeout, so you have to do this without any timeouts. You're down by 4. This is a tough task.
Yep. Very, very tough waters for the Braves. Birch, overhand service, received by Richmond. Johnson to Siegel. Spike is down. There's a little life.
Like Siegel. I like how she plays. Maddie Siegel, 5'11", sophomore, outside hitter. She's the real deal, folks.
Alberts. Overhand serve. Rebels go to Wilson. Soft touch shot. Alberts reads it, but ricocheted out. It's going to get over the net. No, it won't. 22-16.
Maybe not enough power, enough strength running outside to get that ball to hit solid contact. Now you're up 22-16. I go in the middle of the floor here, Jimmy, if I'm asking her to serve.
Molly Rader, overhand service. Action in front of the line in the net by Alberts. 23-16, 2 points away is Roncalli from closing the door and completing a sweep.
Make your back row beat you. Go right back out to the middle of the floor.
Rader, overhand service. Cross shot. That one ricochets once. Braves, Siegel, down. Big point for Brebeuf. 23-17.
Tough to adjust there. Good play. Right idea.
Overhand shot. Here come the Rebels. Cross shot. Siegel, the spike. Halter's there. They'll go to Murphy. She's been there before. She gets it again.
Wow. One-step hop.
Match point for the Rebels, and it'll be Halter with the service. Potential critical match in the Circle City title race. The Braves try to keep it alive. Siegel ricochets it through. Match point 2. Siegel has the service. Both these teams jockeying for position in this Circle City Conference title race into the net. Rebels take game 4, 25-18, and take the match 3-1.
Roncalli now goes 12-8 on the year and 3-1 in the conference. Brebeuf goes 11-4, and they are now 3-1 in the conference. So Thursday night, the Brebeuf game, Chittard game.
Brebeuf's season in terms of the Circle City Conference chase is on the line.
Yeah, Thursday night. Yeah, it's a very, very important game Thursday night. Glad we're going to have it right here on Indiana SRN. Tune in. Game time scheduled for a 7 o'clock start. We'll go on the air around 6:40, I do believe. Check our website for sure about that game. A great ball game as Roncalli wins 3-1.
Coach, Roncalli came out with the energy needed to win. They faltered slightly in game 3, but it was on the back of an impressive coaching by Brebeuf. They took the team away into a different hallway, regathered themselves. Brebeuf has to at least be proud of the way they handled themselves after falling behind 2-0.
Yeah, and how they fell behind. Game number 1, they were not even in the game. It took a long time getting here. They had a crazy bus ride. You could tell that affected them. Game 2, they settled down. Game 3, they probably played the best game they have all year that we've seen them play. But, you chalk this one up. You played Roncalli at home. You played them very, very tough. They're a 4A school, going to be a tough way to finish out the season. But now you have to regroup. Come to practice tomorrow. Be ready, prepared, because Thursday will be a doozy.
Rebels win this one 3-1 and continue to climb in this Circle City Conference title race. Meanwhile, the Braves will try to put together a win against Chittard. We'll have that for you on Thursday. For the coach, Keith Myers, for Riley and Ben, our entire staff and crew, this is Jimmy Cook saying until we talk to you on Thursday. So long, everybody.